Hey, Hershey.
Good evening.
Everybody. Good evening.
How you doing, Miss Graham?
Good.
Okay. I need.
Man, is there any chance that you had a kind enough to text and see if you? Oh, well, wait.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Miss Graham.
Good morning. Did we start yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. I'm delivering. That was for Christmas.
Oh, thank you.
Nice Valentine's
And
Day.
this was, kind of my garden. Yeah, because this is yours.
Oh, okay.
This is your, what's this over to the town? No. Are you better, Miss Manica? Yes. Yeah.
I missed everybody. What happened Christmas? We didn't have a meeting?
No. They canceled it over an email. Scheduled meeting got canceled over the email.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. And I didn't make the staff because I had to get it all out. Take it to my sister and I can't even show up out there unless I send the staff first.
That's sad.
Yeah. Did you bring the staff? Yeah, right. I mailed it so that they got it before. I got it. Yeah, almost. But I'm gonna make some for Valentine's Day, so I can get my strength up.
Okay.
Is it supposed to snow all night? Yeah. One more month. Daylight savings time will be, March 8th, so. And it was lighter this morning. Earlier. Getting there. We're getting there.
On the other side.
Yeah.
Longer.
We're at the halfway point.
Yes.
Fast enough.
Not bad.
We thankful we got some of those other places that, let's go to this state. This place is told up.
You can't run. Can't hide. No running anymore.
Florida's cold, so.
That's what I said, everybody's always ready. Let's go to the north.
Better off to stay home.
22 inches. And that's fantastic. Go there.
Thank you.
You know how we miss Christmas. Laughing.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to City of Highland Park City Council in-person and virtual workshop meeting scheduled for Monday, February 2nd, 2026. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilman Ashafi,
Present.
Councilwoman Martin,
Here.
Councilwoman Manica,
Here.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Present.
Council President Thomas.
Workshop agenda is in front of us. I received an email from the CD director asking to host this workshop. The items to be discussed tonight are number one, the Highland Park Economic Development Strategy Plan. And item number two, the Michigan Indigent Defense Fund Grant E202-60117 from the state of Michigan. At this point, I'll turn the floor over to our CD director, Mr. Clyburn.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So before I bring Donovan up, I'm in front of you from the request of the council wanting to move the EDS strategy to a workshop. So I just want to give a little bit of background on how we got here. About a year and a half ago, we did an MOU with the state. And part of that was to bring on McKenna for general planning services. And that was to put together the economic development strategy, the capital improvement plan, make updates to the master plan and the zoning ordinance. We had a committee, a steering committee, which encompassed the state treasurer, the state land bank, Wayne County Economic Development, Wayne County Land Bank, SIMCOG, MEDC, MISTA, and we just chopped out a lot of things that was going on that level for years when it comes to the city of Highland Park. And the first task was to do the economic development strategy. So last year we did 3 community engagement events. May 29th, we had a forum. June 4th, we did a lunch and learn talking about small business. And June 10th, we did an open house to discuss what the community would like to see when it comes to economic development strategy. And again, this is the first step. The master plan, updating the master plan is more of the lift. That's where we will want to get into more community engagement, bring a council member on as part of the steering committee to discuss updating the master land use plan, which would also include the zoning. So we did take it to the planning commission, where it was an open meeting there. Residents had a chance to, come ask questions. There was good input from the planning commission, and we did take a few comments from the public. And now the planning commission, they recommended adoption to the council. You had a chance to review it. So now we're here and we're asking for adoption for this economic development strategy. And Donovan, he can answer all the questions.
Floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Happy Black History Month. So as Carlton indicated, the economic development strategy is the first part and what essentially is a 3-part planning process. We'll be updating the master plan, which will be specific to housing, programs and a housing framework, where we'll be coordinating a lot of community engagement, asking you all to participate, and that will happen. The first round is tentative at the end of May. And then there'll be a second round of community engagement towards the end of the summer after we get the adoption of the master plan. So we'll be sharing that with you as we get closer to. However, this economic development strategy is just the first step. It established a broad, high level map where we started to establish certain areas that we want to start looking at. We established neighborhood zones that we'll be using to community engage and develop a housing neighborhood strategy, which will happen after the master plan amendment. And then it creates a list of implementation plan goals and objectives that the department can start to work and implement over the next couple of years. So it is part, as I said, of a larger planning framework. All of this is grant funded, so we are working to accomplish this plan adopted, as well as the master plan and the neighborhood strategic framework. We're looking to adopt all of those this year. So it is a bit of a heavy lift, but this is a great time. The document does lay out a good foundation, and we have a lot of good data. We updated a lot of the demographics that are in your current master plan. We'll continue to up those with the amendment, as well as pulling on housing strategies outlined by the state into your master plan. And then in addition to, we'll be updating the future land use plan and the zoning ordinance. All of those are outlined as a first step within the document. So the goal was to just grocery list all the things we want to do from an economic development perspective, and then start to incorporate those into the more long range 10, 15-year plans that is your master plan. So if you have any questions, I'm all here for you.
I'm still reviewing at the moment, so, yeah, I'll get back to you at the next council meeting.
So, thank you.
Additional questions?
You have under here, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 names and positions. What is that?
So we just haven't filled those names in yet. So once we get the final draft, we would update. I think that's the last page that we just have to update. We took it to the first round to Planning Commission, I believe in November, and we intended to have it done by December, just that page specifically. But just because the way the meetings lined up, we just haven't gotten that update. But it would just show all of staff, all of council, the steering committee will be listed. So it would just be current. It'll be
So
updated.
how will you pick those positions?
It'd be all the existing positions. So that's just saying these are all the current staff, council members currently in office or working for the city.
Who's the councilman?
We will list all 5. It's just a page that says these are the council members. This is who the mayor is. This is who the economic development director is. It's just listing your staff.
Carl said it's a council member y'all want to sit on the board. Have y'all made an idea as to who that council member is going to be?
We have not made an exact, we're still, that was going to come up in this conversation if anybody wanted to volunteer. But it would be the steering committee to specifically work on the master plan update.
Well, it should be one of the 3 of them. Yeah.
So whoever, whoever be part of the steering committee, we're still going to work in the districts
Of course.
for community engagement.
Of course.
So, we were thinking maybe like an at-large.
I'm just suggesting it should be one of the 3 women.
How about
One of them.
But
I mean, that's on council.
I know, I got
Yeah, that's, we weren't gonna decide for you, so we want to invite a council member to the steering committee. So that was really gonna come from, yeah.
So you're gonna have a steering committee and then 2 council members?
No, the council member will become a member of the steering committee.
If you have a steering committee with 2 positions, and then you have city council with 2 positions, city leadership.
Mhm.
That page is just a placeholder. So that's unrelated to the master plan, but the master plan will be a steering committee of the same individuals. A lot of the community partners, the state land bank, the state treasury, Wayne County. I think Wayne's on that list as well. And then we would also include a member of council. So it'd probably be,
This is a suggestion, it should be 2 council members, and I'll volunteer for the second in case one can't make it.
Okay, no problem. I like that even more, so, great. So we'll be, so now I'm kind of speaking to you two directly, council persons. We are looking, the date, I believe is the 12th of February. Do you remember the steering committee date off the 10th? The 10th. The 10th of February at 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So we'll have, it'll be virtual, yeah. So we'll make sure we share that invite with you. And then you'll start to get all the documents as we start sharing information with the steering committee. So you'll be up to date. And then when we do set the hard dates for the community engagement towards the end of May, we'll update you as well.
I see you over here, Ms. Square.
You said that, were you about to say that all districts gonna be, what were you about to say about all districts?
As we do the community engagement, you know, we look to get into the district, so we're reaching out. So although there's 2 members on the steering committee, we still want to work with the full council to do the community engagement. That's all I'm saying.
Why did you volunteer the women?
Because I feel like one of the 3 of y'all will have a better level head than me and Jamal at the moment. I feel like one of the 3 of y'all would have a
You can only
better
speak for
level
you.
head.
You can't speak for Jamal. You can only
Mr.
speak for
Smith,
you.
I'm not speaking for Jamal, like
I
said,
abdicate.
feel
I was a
y'all would have a better
planning
level head.
commissioner for 6 years and the chairman on the zoning board for 8 years. I'm good. I trust the people and they can do that.
All right, thank you.
One of the things that needs to be done, council, I'm sure they have it somewhere, but they might need a fresh copy of the existing master plan.
Thank you.
So that
That would
you
be
can kind of get a side by side.
Right.
Yep.
That might help if we put that in their inbox also,
So
so that they understand that we are just amending
yes.
the current master plan that's required. I think that's state law.
Will it
Correct.
show the amendment?
So
We haven't started.
So the one that we have
That's
right
it.
now,
the 20, so I'll give a little context. Cities' master plans are mandated by state law to be updated every 5 to 10 years. Highland Park's master plan, I believe, is a 2017 master plan, Highland Park 2030. So here we are 6 or so years later. You could spend the money to do a full update, which takes a lot longer. It's a bigger lift, but we don't have the grant that we received was just to do an amendment. So what it will allow, it will give you another 5 years of life. So it will get you all the way to 2030 as the plan projects. And we'll be making pretty much a halfway update. So we'll look at how it is today, look at the initiatives you placed in it, and then we'll carry those forward. And then we'll also update them with new initiatives. The Planning Commission this coming up Wednesday, your second Wednesday of this month, will be introducing get the exact name right. We did a review of your existing master plan.
Mr. Smith, is this the master plan this is the last copy?
Yes.
It's gonna be in everybody's email.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
already have.
That's what I'm saying. I sent it.
Change.
Right. I sent it to everybody.
Yeah. Yep. Perfect. Thank you. So
You
on
have to
the
understand that my email just got back online, you know, so I just got it fixed today, so I've been out of the loop for a minute.
okay.
So it was in that binder.
The one you gave us.
Yeah.
Put together for us.
It had the zoning ordinance.
Yeah,
Master plan, Highland Park, downtown strategic plan, all those documents.
okay.
But we'll give you another.
Yeah,
Okay.
people-
I appreciate it.
See is the stripes.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I have a
it's
question.
easier to,
Yeah.
focus on.
And then
So how did you come about choosing which ones to update, which part of the master plan to update? How did you come about that?
so specifically, we're updating the housing and the economic development portions.
You say housing, what do you mean?
Currently, your plan, a couple things. It has dated demographics. So we have to update the demographics. So you have new data. And then your 2030 master plan is more of a policy plan. So it doesn't lay out a lot of action steps related to housing. It has 9 housing policies that you should start to address. We're just going to expand on that. So we're going to use the neighborhood framework and our plan to do deeper engagement with the neighborhoods as the amendment. So that'd be the update. We're just going to be a bit more specific about what those goals and objectives are based on the input we get from community engagement.
You said housing, and what was the other one?
economic development. And that'd be the dovetail to this plan. And then, so the planning commission coming up will be introducing the summary of your existing master plan and some of the opportunities that we've identified that can be updated. So we could also share that document with council. So you just have that, so you'll be aware of it. And then when we do updates to master plan, we have to put a notice out that says, hi, this community is going through a master. We mail it to all the neighboring communities. So it's not a chronicle notice, like a public notice, it's just a mailing notice. So like Detroit, primarily, right, we'll get the notice and they would say, we are in the process of amending our master plan. We will forward a copy of that notice to you as well. So you'll see what that notice is and who we're sending it to. And that'll be coming out around the 10th as well.
Was there anything in that master plan that was actually executed, or was it just a plan that's set on the shelf to collect dust?
Parts of the, some of the zoning made it into the plan, but not a lot of it. So there's a lot of space to update the zoning. And a good portion of it probably did sit on the shelf.
So we're amending something that's set on the shelf. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because there's some initiatives. Did I hear you mention Wayne County?
Yes.
Okay, because there needs some follow-up in Wayne County. There's a commitment to finish demolishing structures. And I don't know if that was in the master plan before, but a significant amount of structures were demolished since 2017. And I know that the county has a plan to demolish some more, like the big building on Farron Park, which is a big issue for the community. People that live around there, Martin Scott, like lives right next door to that. People are interested in that. So is that something, is that demolition? There's structures that the city needs help with, because CDBG money doesn't pay for commercial structures to be torn down.
Yes.
Is that an action item that can go into the master plan, so that the master plan is actually doing something other than just,
yes, it would do.
Conforming with state law?
Yes, it would do both. This current economic strategy refers to the demolition plan. That will make it into the master plan under economic development. And then the housing will pick up the new construction in those areas. So you'll get both. You'll get demolition and new construction.
And then the other thing, so the city entered into an MOU last year, state land bank and Wayne County land bank. And the goal was to meet on a regular basis and figure out how to take all the properties that are owned by the entities and assemble them into developable parcels. Has that happened?
Yes, that is a part of this process.
So is that an action plan now that's gonna go into the master plan?
Yes, yes.
And that's what we need
100%.
to do this year, because we have a whole new change in the government structure at the state level.
Yes, 100%. That
While
will.
we still have that support, because that would be something that the community needs to see something planned to be built.
Correct.
Who's gonna see that?
My goal is to have this adopted in 6 months. And then once you have that, you'll see it, and then you'll see the next iteration of it in the following 6 months as we do the neighborhood stabilization plan.
So demolition, continued commercial structure demolition, and the assembling of parcels from these land banks that are supposed to be meeting as part of the MOU. I don't know if council's been involved with that either. But the goal was to have them involved as well.
Correct. Yeah. So we identified that in the economic development strategy. We adopt the economic development strategy, which says we want to do that. And then we include that codified within your master plan. And then that will project it out 5, 10 or so years. Yeah. And then the framework that follows will be the implementation of that action itself.
One of the things that I really dislike is timetables that are out there that are so far that people forget about. So it's kind of nice to have like a 30-day plan, meet back in 30 days to report, 60-day, 90-day, 120 days, because if you say something's gonna get done to 6 months, then, something happens and it's delayed, and then it's 12 months, and you're not really seeing any action.
Mhm.
I know the state has committed funds, and I know the state still has funds, so I don't want us to squander any funds that we could be utilizing, because we got a plan that's so far off.
Yep. I agree. And the first step is to get a plan that's adoptable. Right. Once you have an adoptable plan, you can go to the state and say, we put it in the plan, we adopted it. Can we have the funds to implement this plan?
So what you're saying is the current master plan has nothing in it that we can adopt and put into action.
It is dated. So a lot of those strategies were 6, 7 years old now, and we're in a very different place post-COVID. So we want to update those, get those current, and then you can implement those 30, 60 days, however fast you want to implement.
So, Mr. Smith, in this plan, as far as the demos and everything, especially the huge apartment building on Fan Park, will the process, like the total process, be implemented into this strategic plan on how you have to get court documents and you have to notify the neighborhood for whatever, you have to go in there and pull out the building and the air quality and all that be in there?
It could be included, yes.
Yes, that would be great.
So, Council Pro Tem, I don't want to leave out the fact that there are 2 advanced apartments in the city on Woodward. They both belong to the city. One is on Fair Park, the one is on McLean. The Arbicon building is on Fair Park, and the one with the entire roof burned out on it is on McLean Street. So we need to see something done with both of those buildings. I know people keep mentioning the Fair Park, but I want to remind y'all, the more we sit here and allow those buildings to sit there unattended to, you remember what happened on Tuxedo when a piece of the building before they bought it had fell off and almost hit somebody walking on the sidewalk. Okay, and that's a real danger here on Woodward Avenue. So it's something that needs to be addressed.
I agree. And then I would also add the 2 biggest changes that you will see come out of this plan is the updates to your future land use and your zoning map. I introduced some zoning changes in your previous meeting and kind of started to share that we need to make updates to that map. That map is significantly holding back economic development in the city. So those sites in particular, if the underlying zoning does not support redevelopment, it will not get redeveloped. It will be too cost prohibitive to. So a part in that process will be introducing within the next 30 to 45 days, recommendations to the future land use and zoning map. We'll share those with you as we get closer to, but we have to make updates to those documents and adopt them, because if we don't, it is extremely difficult to convince private developers to invest in the city when they cannot get proper zoning to do the developments that we're asking for.
Give us an example of the big problem.
In the last 2 sets of rezonings that I brought, Oakland was zoned residential. We cannot get any development on Oakland because it is zoned residential. Until we rezone it out of commercial. Until we get it out of residential into a commercial district, nobody will develop any property over there. Similar with those properties over on Second and Bartlett. I think that one did pass. So those are now will be zoned properly for development, but they were zoned residential. If someone wants to purchase a property to build a strip mall or an apartment building, if it is zoned residential, they have to go through this 2, 3, 4 month process, spend the money to ask to get it to rezone. And if it doesn't get approved, then they will leave and go to another community. So we have to make sure the zoning is conducive to the types of development you're looking for, which will streamline that process and make it easier to attract development.
And if it is one family flat on Oak, right before you get the house.
Okay.
So how would that be affected if we change the zone?
The district we proposed did not impact them negatively. The MUV district allows single families, duplexes. Yes, the mixed use allows single family, mixed use, and the commercial uses that would be permitted in that corridor.
So we have the 2 that's coming up, the 2 zoning areas.
The last 2.
We have people who want to develop both those areas. we have a number of other zoning areas, like it's 10 more, it's 5 more that needs to be rezoned. So that, I know we did this because we have some people who want to develop.
Mhm.
Once we have them out the way, or, the zoning out the way, when are you bringing the other areas? Because it sounds like there's many other areas that need to be rezoned. Do we have a number? And when will you
Roughly about 10 areas that we're looking at throughout the entire city. It's not particular to one particular area. So throughout the city, there are about 10 areas that we're looking at that need various updates to zoning. And we're looking to bring those. I want to bring you the future land use and zoning at the same time and do a planning 101 so you can kind of understand how those documents work together. I anticipate that'll be March.
Okay, and when you say bring them to us, you mean in a workshop?
Yes.
It's from the area from 6 Mile and Hamilton
Mhm.
to Hamilton and Puritan. Is that mixed use? Is that zone mixed use, or is it just zone residential?
I believe it's mixed use on both sides. Yep.
Okay, good.
And then it stops just when you get to the other side of Davison, I believe.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, so I believe Davison South is not mixed use, or portions of it is and portions of it are not.
Okay.
Do we, on Woodward, are any of those areas on Woodward?
Yes, so adjacent to the Greenway, we're looking at that area. And then along Woodward, you have what is called the TOD district, which does some good things and it does some kind of inconvenient things. The TOD district encroaches into the residential neighborhoods, but the TOD, yes, the TOD district, however, doesn't allow single family homes. So what it does is it says this is a transit oriented district, but it makes a lot of those neighborhoods that it is located in non-conforming because there are homes there that, according to that district, cannot be there. So that's an area we're looking at to either take those neighborhoods and convert them into a standard residential zoning district, or come up with a different district to accommodate what that district is trying to accomplish, but permitting single family homes. So we'll be looking at that. You'll get an update on that one. And then you also have your single family historical district, which is a little strange. It outlines a former historic district, but it is not any different from your regular historic single family districts. So we'll be looking at either codifying that with more details or consolidating that with other residential districts.
That being said about the historical district, isn't it a historical, didn't we approve the historical?
Commission, yeah.
Something like that, would
So-
that be incorporated in this?
It is in this document. So currently, I believe it was 2018, 19, or 20. I think it was 20, actually. Highland Park was designated a certified local government district or unit, which is particular to saying you have all the requirements to be for your historic district commission. So identified in that plan, and we want to re-engage that commission, allow it to start meeting on a regular cadence and basis, and then we can start to utilize the historic district proper for the residential areas, but also the Model T plant is a historic district site. So before any development happens there, it will have to go through the historic district. So if we do have a developer that comes in the next year or so and says they want to do something there, we got to facilitate a process to get them in front of the Historic District Commission before anything can happen in that site. So that's one of the actions outlined in that document.
Mr. Smith, as far as a historic district, we're talking about facade. We're not talking about interior, right?
Correct, all exterior.
Yeah, well, so here's the situation. I know someone who was buying windows. I'm not gonna say no names.
Please don't.
And standard Home Depot windows, good Home Depot windows, were 1/5 of the cost of the Pella windows that are required for a 100-year-old house.
Correct.
I got one. And so I don't want to have to, my friend that's in Boston Edison right now is suffering because of the limitation, the strangulation, if you will, as it relates to updates to their property. And all of the remodels in the quad that I live in were full gut rehab. We're talking about floor plans changing quite a few of them. And so I think it would be important and relevant in later discussion. I could reach out to Paul on this, but to just to really drive home that message of facade only.
Yeah.
And would that incur, let's say, for example, you wanted to put an additional, and I'm looking to add, I'm a resident that wants to add onto the side of their house
Mhm.
in a historic district. What will be some of the limitations that they might face?
If you have a home in a historic district and you want to do an addition, primarily it would be, you would have to build that addition in a compatible style, which is case by case, house by house.
Got you. So I see what you're saying. So it's exterior, like what I've seen in the north end, where you see extensions, but the extensions, Bring
Similar
that-
care.
they bring the wraparound from the previous. Okay, that
Yes.
answers my question.
And then we look at things like windows, the mullins, the dividers in the windows. We look at things like roof type. If you have historic shingles, we take that into consideration. We don't get too much into paint and colors per se. It's more specific to material. So if you have wood trim, aluminum gutters and things like that, those are things we look at, and we try to make sure those are consistent in your addition.
Okay, thank you.
Historically, when the gutters be covered.
It depends on the house,
Okay.
case by case. So you may have a house that has metal windows next to a house that has wood windows. So it's just case by case.
Additional questions on this? We still have to move to item 2. Okay, Mr. Smith, thank you so much for your help,
All right,
as
thank you.
always.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and we're gonna move on to item 2. That's the Michigan Indigent Defense Fund Grant, E 202-60117. I heard from Ms. Williamson tonight that she had provided a surrogate for us. Rachel McRipley, are you online? Rachel, let me check here.
Right here.
Oh, I asked earlier. I'm sorry. I called out. I asked, were you here?
Oh, I didn't hear.
That's okay. I didn't have my microphone on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
I'm
for
going to
having
turn
me.
the floor over to you for item number 2. Begin where you need to and proceed.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone.
One question, do you need to be on the Zoom?
Pardon
Do
me?
you need to be on the Zoom or do you have a presentation?
No, I don't have a presentation. Wasn't sure if Ms. Williamson sent over
Okay.
the packet. Thank you. I am attorney Rachel McRipley. I am the director of the Regional Managed Assigned Counsel Office. We're located in the city of Dearborn, but we are under the umbrella of MIDC, which is the Michigan Indigent Defense Commission. I know that you all had discussed the grant that's provided every year at the last commission meeting or council meeting. So I wanted to come and answer any questions if you had any questions, but I will say that this grant has been provided through the state to Highland Park since 2019. And as far as I could go back, I could see that during the council meetings, the grant had been approved every year. So I wasn't quite sure what the holdup was this year. Let's see. I will say that I came for various reasons. One in which is the unexpended funds of the grant from last year is going to be running out soon. You had about a little over 35,000 that carried over from fiscal year 25. And already in Q1, over 20,000 of that has already been spent. And I will say just in January, a little over 4,000 has already been spent. And when I say spent, our office approves the invoices for the attorneys that are placed in the district court to represent indigent clients. So as they're approving or as they're submitting their invoices to us, we approve them. We send those invoices to the city and then the city pays them out because you are the holders of the 260 fund. So that fund holds the grant dollars. So I wasn't sure if you all had questions or needed clarification on anything. I know.
I'll turn it over to the body. I wasn't at the last 2
Okay,
meetings.
I know there was some council members that were missing.
Go for it.
Okay, so Are you from the court or you just from the, what'd you say you're from again?
My office is the Regional Managed Assigned Counsel Office,
Okay.
and we are, like I
Yeah,
said, we're the
the
office that places,
MIDC. Okay.
Yeah.
So you represent the MIDC, correct?
so to speak.
Okay.
Our office is based off of their grant funds as well.
Okay. Is there a reason that a member of the court is not here to
I can't speak for the
to
court, I'm
try to
sorry.
give us a little clarity on that?
I am
can't
here
speak
from
for the court.
Robin Diamond is here from the court.
And so is Tamana Khan.
Thank you. We have two attorneys online from the court.
Okay, okay.
No,
So
we're
have we
not-
ever been over?
I'm sorry.
We are
I'm
not
sorry, you're representing the
attorneys.
court. Forgive
Yeah,
me.
we're representatives. We're not attorneys.
Okay. Has the court ever gone over budget
No,
for public defenders?
no.
I will say this isn't a court issue, because the court doesn't hold that money, nor do they provide the attorneys for this grant. That's all through my office. And I will say that the city of Highland Park has never gone over or spent more than what was provided in the grant. We've always had unexpended funds that was attributed to the next year.
Ms. Ripley, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
I
sir.
want to make sure that I'm understanding you correctly. So a person comes into court, they don't have counsel, they don't have funds, and we want to make sure that they're represented. This grant ensures that people without counsel and without funds get representation. Am I getting that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure I was hearing you. Thank you. So go
Okay,
ahead.
so,
Someone else?
so, so I watch the court a lot. In fact, I'm in the court a lot. Okay, I'm in the court right now. And this fund is supposed to be for defense fund and people who can't afford attorneys. Okay. I can tell you from personal experience, I've gone through 4 attorneys already, all of them woefully insufficient, but yet they're being paid for my tax dollars. And I watch the courts, they plea bargain out a lot. I rarely see anybody take anything to try it, okay? Because people just want to be done and over with it. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't see the need for the extra money, you know? And according to the budget of what they have, the court is bringing in $400,000 a year in revenue to the city. But yet they operating expenses and their salaries in which the city paid for exceeds $1.8 million. That's quite expensive. And I asked questions about that last year and got no answers from anybody from the court whatsoever when we was doing the budget last year. But here we are, them asking for more money to do something else in which they're clearly not doing, but I'm supposed to approve it.
Okay, can I? So this fund has, like I said before, it has nothing to do with the court. The court's budget and this grant, they're totally separate, and you can't mix the two.
Who
This-
filed for this grant?
I write the grant for 19 of the 24 district courts in Wayne County.
Okay, so you filed for this grant on behalf of the city?
So I write the grant, and then it goes to the city officials, the mayor, the finance director, and they sign off on it based on the agreement.
Okay, so you wrote the grant, but one of them signed off on filing.
Correct.
Okay, okay. Again, I'm just simply,
ahead,
I'm
Ms.
simply saying, I'm simply stating the obvious. I don't see the necessary need for it. I'm here in the court every day. I'm looking at the court every day. I'm dealing with the court every day. I'm being messed over by the court every day. And I don't see the need for them to have this extra money if they don't necessarily need it.
Go ahead, Ms.
Okay.
Manica.
Okay, and then.
Go ahead, Ms. Manica, please.
And then according to my reading, of what was submitted to us, if the court does not use this money specifically for defendants and lawyers, they have the right to allocate this money to another department if necessary, according to what they gave us and said.
According to what we gave, that's not what it says.
Okay.
Like
that's
I
what
said, the court doesn't use this money at all.
read. Okay.
It's not a court issue. This fund is set specifically to pay for those attorneys that are sure they're representing in the 30th District Court, but the court doesn't pay them. The court can't even approve their invoices. The court doesn't touch this money at all. It's directly with the city of Highland Park.
Thank you. So I was actually getting ready to ask you to explain what the grant and the money is for. So you just did that. So, but it sounded like there was a small concern for us already at the beginning of the year right now. Is
Yes, absolutely.
there- Okay, maybe it's not small, I don't know, but that
No.
it looks like we're gonna run out of that particular area or line of. So
Right.
is there something we need to do or happen, or I'm not sure, how do we adjust this, or stop it, put it on a little, not stop doing it, but how do we slow it down?
Can I add to your question, Ms. Manica? What
Yeah.
happens what happens if someone comes into court, they cannot afford an attorney, and they don't get one appointed? What happens if the funds are not available and people are standing in front of the court counselor with no defense?
So one of the parts of the grant is what's called a local share. So there's a percentage that the city funds, even with the grant. And it's a very small percent. So that would be expended first. Once all the grant money and the local share is gone, then the city, as these invoices still come in, the city will have to start paying out of their general fund. As of right now, the city is not paying out of their general fund because you guys never have any money left over. Or you have money left over, but you're not going over budget.
Thank you.
You're not spending more than what the grant allows.
So how can we, I'm sorry, this is what I was saying.
Go ahead.
So we need to slow that down a little bit, sounds like. So what's the determination on who needs, other than a person saying, I can't afford one?
Yeah, so the court is still the entity that screens for indigency. So they determine whether or not a person is indigent.
Okay.
And so each local funding unit can determine that the court is still the person or the entity that does that.
So what we're here for today, though, or you just want to explain the grant so that it can get passed? Because
Correct.
if it does not, then we don't have any money. We're just gonna be working out of the general fund, sounds like.
Correct. And because the city has been in agreement every single year, if you spend all the money and you don't sign the contract, it goes to like a mediation process. So we're trying to prevent that from happening. If I had known sooner that this was an issue, I would have been here sooner, because MIDC, they meet every so often throughout the year. And when it's compliance planning and cost analysis time, they approve the grant, and it was approved by MIDC. The dollar amount was approved by MIDC, I believe October 21st, 2025. So normally this whole process takes place soon after that, once the city knows of it. And you should have already received your first payment of the grant by now, but you don't have it because no one has signed the contract yet.
Okay,
Go ahead, Ms. Pro Tem.
my only concern was, and I did email Miss Diamond about this. I went back to 2020 and looked at all the minutes and everything, and this doesn't always come in front of council. And that was my concern, and I wanted to get a copy of the other grants that were awarded to this report. Ms. Diamond, do you remember that?
We don't have any other grants, and I did respond to your email.
So this is the first time the MDIC grant?
We're currently only under the MIDC.
Yeah, that's the grant I'm trying to get copies of from previous years, because they said it comes to the council every year. I mean, I know you apply for it every
Ms.
year.
Martin, she hasn't had a chance to speak.
I know we apply for it every year, but it doesn't come to council.
If I could, and I did do a little bit of research before I came to see if it had in fact come before council. There was a council meeting January 21st, 2020, where council voted on the grant. Next one was May 17th, looks like it was discussed of 2021. And I can provide these to you all as well. But it was voted on 5 yeas. November 15th, 2021. It was voted on with 5 yeas. October 16th of 2023, it was voted on 5 yeas. And then on November 18th of 2024, it was also voted on with 5 yeas. So it has come before council every year.
What happened in 22? You skipped from 21 to 23.
Don't know that I found one, but I will say, depending on the timing of when the grant proposal was submitted, could determine which council meeting it hit. So if it hit earlier in the year, then it was voted on earlier in the year, and that's probably why I have 2 different ones from 2021.
Yeah, I noticed you said 21, 20.
I do. Sure. Have any more questions
Ms.
or?
Martin,
Oh, yeah, I did have questions. Yeah, so did you say that we don't spend all the money? Is that my understanding?
Correct.
So when we don't spend all the money, does the money, is it kind of like roll over or does it get dispersed to other
No.
places? How does that work?
It does not get redispersed or redistributed. So let's say for last year, the unexpended funds was $35,000. If you get 100,000 this year, it'll be deducted. So you won't get more than what you spent. So it'll
Okay, so then the
65,000.
following year, you just won't get that 100,000.
You won't get
You'll
all
get
of it.
less.
Correct.
Because you have something.
You'll get less than 35,000.
Okay. Okay. My next question is, this is the same grant. Last meeting we were reading and you said it had made the mayor's name on it, correct? Wasn't that grant?
Yeah, they made it fiduciary.
Right, okay.
There has to be an authorizing official from the city. Sometimes that authorizing official is the mayor. Sometimes some of the townships have, I think they're called supervisors. Sometimes it's a financial director of the city. It just depends on that local funding unit and who they want to be the authorized official.
But it's MIDC that manages that money.
Yes, it all flows through MIDC.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, are you in a position to disclose who signs in the city of Detroit?
So what?
Are you in a position to disclose who the signatory is in the city of Detroit?
I don't, I'm not, I don't, they don't fall under my umbrella.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
That's a different managed assigned council.
All right,
Go ahead, Mr.
No further
Shafi,
questions.
unless Mr.
Okay.
Martin, you still going?
Okay, so after I say this, Council President, I'm done. I love the scare tactics. I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? If we don't get this money, the whole system's going to break down. It's going to be bloodbath and bedlam, hellfire. The sky's going to open up. Satan's going to pop out and say, "How you doing?" I love that. I love the scare tactics. But the truth of the matter is, you have a right, a constitutional right to be represented by council, and the state has safeguards in case something like this ever happens. Even if we approve this money and something runs out, the state has a safeguard fund just for these specific type of issues in case something runs out, okay? So the scare tactic does not work for me. Everybody's gonna get a lawyer. Everybody's gonna get represented. The truth of the matter is, here in Highland Park, we rarely go to trial for anything. Most people plead out. The lawyers talk to the residents rude. They tell them to shut up. We gonna do it this way. You take this plea or you going to jail. I don't like any of it. I watch it all every day with the court. I watch it all every day with the court. And to my knowledge, at the end of this year, I'm being told that the 36th district is going to be taking over this court system. Okay, so they won't even be here at the end of this year. Somebody else will be here. Okay, so I don't think the funding is necessary, but my council members may do what they see fit, but the scare tactics don't work for me. And I yield back.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure having you here, ma'am. Thank you for making this clarification. Okay, it is 6:55, ladies and gentlemen. We've covered the two items for the workshop. And we're not gonna do good and welfare because we only got a 5-minute break between the next meeting. So we will call ourselves adjourned at 6:55. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, so they're.
Yeah, probably about all I got right now. But you wouldn't want to. I remember before they started, this was 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tight fit. Tight fit.
Yeah. Well, you had your phone. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Highland in-person and virtual regular meeting scheduled for today, Monday, February 2nd, 2020.